Welcome to the next business we are featuring, and this time we are at Buns Soap Shop in Valparaiso, Indiana. I'm with the shop owner, Jamie, and we want to show you around. I am so excited today to bring you Jamie Finkhauser, and she is a single mom who runs a business here in Valparaiso, Indiana. Today we are in her shop. She makes soaps and so many other items, and I'm going to get to all of that in a minute. But Jamie, I have to start at the very beginning. So the day that we walked into your soap shop, you made a statement right away and said, I started asking you how you got started or something, and you said, oh, my story, it's all God. It's all God. And I just think that is the place to start. So I just want to see, how did you come about the soap business and running a business? And let's just start there.
Well, for sure, I didn't have any of it on the radar.
Yes.
But I did say for 20 years, off and on, that I was supposed to make soap someday. And then I adopted my youngest daughter, Ava, and she got Hashimoto's, which is her thyroid stopped working.
Yes.
And her skin dried up brutally. And so I thought, aha, there's my soap moment. And knew that was why I was supposed to make soap, was for her. Well, I did. I drove to Michigan and learned how to make soap, brought it back, and it completely cleared her skin.
In a week's time, right?
In a week's time.
Incredible.
Yes. And then people started asking if they could try bars and then buy bars. And then shops found out about it, and it just spiraled into a business. And I never, ever, ever had that intention.
So do you mind sharing, I love too, Jamie, where you told your story about how you had a dream. So you made that first bar of soap, and then you had a dream, because we know dreams are powerful. We know that's how God talks to us and communicates to us. So dreams are significant.
Yes. So I was approached by a store in Valparaiso to drop off just a raw bar of soap, no packaging, nothing. And I walked it in with my daughter, Ava, and I said, here's the bar, go ahead and try. And I got back in the car and I told Ava, I'll never hear from that woman again. And a couple weeks later, I woke up that morning, and right before I woke up, I had this dream that God gave me. I knew it was God because in the dream he was speaking to me and said, go buy barrels of oil to make soap.
Wow.
And I remember sitting straight up out of bed thinking, oh my word, I'm supposed to buy, I knew it. I was supposed to go buy barrels of oil. It was like a command.
Yes.
And so the person that was there with me that day, when I walked out into the kitchen to get my coffee, I said, hey, I think I'm supposed to buy barrels of soap or barrels of oil to make soap. And they looked at me and said, well, do you think maybe you should sell a bar first? And I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should sell a bar. And I opened up my laptop, and the business owner that I had dropped that raw bar of soap off to had purchased a very large, significant order. And that's when I was like, oh my word, what's the Lord doing? And then interestingly, I didn't have packaging at all. It was just a bar of soap. And I needed to develop something to make it look nice.
Yes.
And I thought, I'll just do what everybody does and put a cardboard strip around the bottom with my logo and pick a logo or something. And I had a really good friend at the time, and she came to me. She was a believer as well. And she was in marketing for some time, and she said, take this very, very seriously and don't rush into this, because you never know where God might be taking it.
Wow.
Yes.
What great advice.
And I look back, and that was the Lord using her.
Yes.
Because I just thought, I'm just going to drop off these orders. This lady's going to sell it at her shop, and that's the end of that. I thought there was just a period, he was done. He was finished. And then people would challenge me, what if this isn't it? And I was like, oh my word, what if it isn't it?
Right.
So.
Wow. How did you come about the name, Buns?
Buns is just a nickname that I've always had as a young adult. No specific reason. And when we were considering the name then and the logo, I started talking. I'm more sophisticated or elegant in that I wanted something more like apothecary or, something that sounded fancy. And my friend, again, the same woman, she said, no, you don't. You want it to be quick. You want it to be easy. You want it to be remembered. You want it to be like off the tongue, And she said, have you ever thought of your nickname, Buns? And then the soapbox part of it, I didn't really like the buns idea, but I prayed about it, and I knew God wanted me to, but he wanted me to add the soapbox because of the old soapbox that they did, but then also getting on my soapbox about things that I was passionate, including my faith or doing things more naturally. So it's kind of a play on words, and we get to have fun. Like get your buns into buns.
Yes, that is so cute.
We do some fun things with it.
Yeah, this week on Monday we were going over what we all had going on this week, and then Nick said, "Oh, Amy, we're shooting your buns this week." So we definitely had a good laugh about that one. So it's a fun name. I love it.
Yes.
How do you get creative to come up with the different variety of soaps?
So it's never ending. I mean, I could soap for the rest of my life and never make the same 2 bars. I really, truly believe that. But a lot of what I've done, so I started with just making raw goat's milk soap. And then off of that, my customers would say, hey, have you ever considered a shampoo bar? And then researching. And have you ever considered lip balm? Have you ever considered lotion sticks? Every item that I've added was someone came to me and requested it.
So Buns, who do you employ? I love this.
Yes. So I employ autistic young adults, and how that transpired with my God story is my youngest daughter is autistic. And at first, when the aha moment came and I could see her flourishing in it, I thought, oh, it's for Ava, period.
Yes.
Right? And then people started getting word out in the community. This woman started this soap shop, and she employs her autistic young daughter.
Yes.
And other moms in the community were inspired by the story, and they would either come in and say, I've always thought maybe I should try and create a business to provide my son or daughter. Or have you ever considered hiring? And again, I had no idea, but there was such a huge need in the community that with tears, it took me to my knees.
Wow.
And then I said to the Lord, do you want me to grow this, to make that available to the community? And I thought he did, but I still wasn't certain. So I didn't really tell anybody. I just was praying about it. And then in February, after my first year opening, no one knew. And it was a cold February morning, and a young girl came into the store with her sister, and she said, hi, I wanted to drop off my resume. And I'm looking at her, and I'm looking at the resume, and I'm looking at her, and I'm looking at the resume, and I knew that she was autistic. And I said, do you know my mission statement that I have been chewing on? And she said, no, what are you referring to? And then I realized, oh my word, the Lord brought her to me. She was from Florida.
Oh, wow.
And she was my first employee. And she still works here today. And that is when I knew that the Lord wanted it to be for others as well. And so in doing so, then another huge step of faith had to occur, because for me to be able to maintain the business, I needed to hire somebody to hire somebody. And so it was financially a really huge step of faith to me, so that if I needed to pull away, not always, I'm able to leave in certain times. It depends on what's going on, what needs to be done, all of those things. But consistently, there were enough times where I would need assistance to be able to employ. And then it just snowballed. The high school found out. We started a job training program. The high school let me know of a boy that was 26 that had never been employed, and he's been working here for 3 years. I had another young man that was dropped off during school his senior year, and he's worked here for 3 years now. So it's just God continues to open the doors to bring people here for us to have.
That's amazing.
I know. It's such a God thing.
It is. I'm just at a loss of words, because what else could you say?
Yes.
And that's what I love. Every time you're just like, no, it's God's story. It's all God. And I think it's amazing. And wow. If you are at all in Northwest Indiana, I would say come to the shop in Valpo.
Thank you.
Because it's gorgeous. It's decorated so cute. It smells amazing when you walk in the door. And she has a vintage bathtub. I mean, it is truly amazing. It's beautiful. So
we are proud of it.
So stop by the shop and check it out.